Hi, Satnam, it's me, Shakti Sundari, and just doing a little Facebook Live today on questions to ask yourself after a breakup. So I got into this topic recently because a friend of mine was asking me some questions about my own breakup a few months ago, and I found his questions really brilliant. Um, they really made me look at myself and be very honest about myself and what had happened, and also kind of really inquire in a way that supported me in learning and growing and deepening my self-awareness. And I really enjoyed the process. And I guess this is something that I do anyway, because I've been through quite a few breakups in the last 10 years or so. And so I've become a bit of an expert in a way at processing breakups. And I've um, seen them as a tool for growth. You know, for me, that is the purpose of relationship. It is always soul growth and healing and transformation and becoming ever closer to the person I'm meant to be through seeing where I'm not yet that in love. But anyway, so I'm going to share those questions with you in a moment. And it's just also to kind of highlight something else, which is that so often when someone's written something there and I can't read it without my glasses. I'll read it. Who's that? I can't see. Hello. Oh, hello. Hello. That's all right. I'm doing good. So quite often when we ask somebody the question about their past relationship, okay, what might happen is that person will start talking about their ex in a way that kind of puts all the onus on what happened and what went wrong, in inverted commas, on the other. And I always look out for that. You know, for me, that's always a bit of a flag if that's what happens. If somebody starts blaming their ex full on for everything that's happened, rather than talking about themselves and what they've noticed about themselves, I sort of think, okay, not taking much responsibility there then, are we? And I've actually written a blog about that that's on my website, if you haven't seen it. It's not to say that, you know, both people in a relationship obviously don't have a part to play. It's always a two-way thing. Always, always, always. It's never black and white. But the thing is, we can't control anybody else's behavior and we can't change other people. But the only thing we can change and we do have control over is ourselves and our responses and our behaviors and our insights and our growth. That's the only thing we can ever control. So if we're going to be obsessed with or complaining about what somebody else has done to us, it puts us into a victim mentality, and it gives our power away to that other person when, you know, that's completely debilitating. Actually, let's just look at what we have to learn for ourselves and what the gift is, which is a very big theme for me at the moment in terms of looking at the gift of difficult moments. There's always a gift there for us if we would but look. So rather than kind of focusing on what we think the other might have done to us, putting us in the victim place, let's look at what we did, what we said, how we acted, and take responsibility fully, 100% for what has happened, and then learn from that. So I'm going to share with you the questions that my friend Dave Binder, and he said it's fine for me to use his name. So Dave, if you watch this, thank you for your questions. I really enjoyed you asking me these questions. So, you know, I hadn't spoken to Dave literally for about a year, right? So we go on Skype and he lands me with these questions, like without much of a warm-up, straight into it, which I absolutely loved. So his first question to me was, what have you learned about yourself from the experience? What have you learned about yourself from the experience? So yeah, that put it all on me. So I was having to look straight away about the lessons for me. It was nothing about what the other person had said or done at all. It was all about what have I learned. And then his next question was, what would you do differently next time? Again, taking full responsibility for my own choices, for my own decisions, for my own actions, for my own well-being, for my own healing, for my own insight. And, although I've been doing this stuff for years, like this is what I do. I learn, I read, I study, I process, I teach, I experience, and then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And there's always another layer of healing. There's always another layer of learning. So, but even so, sitting there, it's a little bit vulnerable. But that's for me, what is crucial is honesty with oneself and with everyone, really, about what's going on. So not sugarcoating the truth and just owning up to whatever I see in myself, owning it completely. So I owned up, one of the things that I do, just to give you an example, is that I often leap into relationships head first, full on, without really putting any brakes on. I just go for it, and that is a pattern of mine. It's absolutely a pattern of mine. And sometimes that's gotten me into some dicey situations in that I haven't stopped to look before I've leapt. And I've leapt into some amazing situations, and it hasn't given me time to get to know the person really deeply. And then I've learned things over time that have been a bit of a surprise. So that's one of my patterns that I had to own up to. So the questions: what have you learned about yourself from this experience? What would you do differently next time? And then another interesting question he asked me was, were you both able to own all of your stuff as it happened in the moment? And again, I had to really sit with that and inquire into myself and be really truthful and really honest about, well, actually, no, I couldn't all the time. And then, well, what were the situations that arose when I couldn't? So it really was helpful for me to see my own patterns of triggering and behavior under stress. When I was stressed, when I was upset, how do I tend to behave? So it again gave me great insight into my own patterns of behavior. And then after that, there were a couple more general questions, which Dave says he got from a workshop about A Course in Miracles, actually. Now, I haven't done A Course in Miracles, so I can't sort of give you a testament about that, but these questions are brilliant. So I think these are three wonderful questions for us all to ask ourselves at any point, so we're really clear on our values. So the first one is, what do you want from a relationship? And some people talk about, oh, it shouldn't be about wants and needs. Well, I actually believe it's really important to be absolutely 100% clear on what our wants and needs are and what our values are. So what do you want from a relationship? What's the point of going deeper with someone who wants something completely different to you? It's good to know that in advance, and then it will help you to filter out inappropriate partners. The second question is, and this is a really good one, what is your biggest issue in relationship? What is your biggest issue in relationship? And again, Dave asked me this, and I had to really sit with it and really, really kind of go in and find the truthful answer. And I think I kind of went on for quite a bit because I found quite a few things. But it's knowing oneself and having this self-awareness. And then the third question he asked me is, what is the purpose of relationship? So again, this will be very illuminating for you, and something that you could ask any future partner, all of these questions actually, and just see, when you have the answers for yourself, of course, this is the most important thing, because then it gives you something to navigate by in terms of your relating. But then ask a potential partner the same questions and see how they respond. Do they start by blaming their ex for everything, or are they willing to show you the truth about themselves, warts and all? To have a healthy, conscious relationship, we need to know about our own shadow, and we need to be able to have a conversation about that without feeling ashamed and without hiding anything, because it's not going to work otherwise. We really need to know our shadow, own our shadow, take responsibility for it. This is so key. At least from my perspective, the purpose of relationship is soul growth. You know, that's it, really. And so although I love all the trappings of romance and great sex and companionship and co-creation and all those wonderful things that happen as a side effect of being in relationship with another, for me, ultimately, it's always about soul growth. And so, you know, I've gone through the process of heartbreaks, which is the personality ego part of me losing something and somebody they have become very attached to, and notions of dreams and illusions that I've projected into the future. But ultimately, when I process that and I've healed from that, I'm always supremely grateful for the growth in my heart and the growth that my soul has experienced as a result of that interaction, of that relationship. I'm losing my voice. It's gone all croaky. So that's it. Those are the questions to ask yourself after a breakup, and questions to ask a potential partner before you go into relationship 2. I hope you found that helpful, and I'll be back again soon with something, I don't know what, to share with you. Much love, and thank you for watching, guys, and see you soon. Sat Nam.